time on Hard Enduro. Against the toughest field of competitors ever, Johnny Walker wins his second title at Erzberg. Now he comes into CBU for the 11th edition of the Red Bull Romaniacs, a chance to add another coveted trophy to his name and move into contention as the world's best hard enduro rider. Red Bull Romaniacs, it's a race like no other. A race infamous for its spectacular terrain, stunning landscapes, and ruthless sections of enduro track. To win here, you need skill, speed, and stamina. This is the 11th edition of the Red Bull Romaniacs. This is no ordinary race. The Red Bull Romaniacs is the toughest 5-day hard enduro on the planet. Riders will go on over and around 600 kilometers of the Carpathian Mountains. But which rider will be up for the challenge? With podium favorites David Knight and Alfredo Gomez both withdrawing at the last minute, this year's race is anyone's to win. Possibly Johnny Walker. Hot off his second Erzberg Rodeo victory, Johnny looks to take his winning momentum into this year's Red Bull Romaniacs. Or is this the year the German Andreas Lettenbichler finally gets back on the top of the podium? And of course, the perennial favorite, last year's winner, Graham Jarvis. He is going for the 4th successive title and to be crowned Red Bull Romaniacs champion, an unprecedented 5th time in the 11-year race history. It's a beautiful day for racing. We are in the middle of CBU, Romania. The crowds have gathered and racers are ready. It's the start of the prologue, which determines off-road day 1 positions, and it's the start of this year's Red Bull Romaniacs.
I'm quite sure the obstacle it's not so difficult and dangerous than the last year. I think the most obstacle this year is new and quite funny, but still rideable. The Teeter-totter, single trail. I have the bigger rocky section this year, and I bring really the big Sequoia forest in the cities, and the riders have really enjoyed this ride.
Day 1 of 5 at Romaniacs is the day for the fans. Lining the city streets, they get an up-close view of these fearless riders as they tackle the prologue course.
We've got the first day, which is the prologue, which is like a gnarly route out in the city, you know, for the people to come and watch. And, you know, it's good, it gets you qualifying position, so, you know, obviously you want a good result.
Last year I won the prologue, which I was super happy about because I got €500. And, but then it puts you in a difficult situation for the first day because you're obviously laying the tracks on the floor because pretty much all of Romaniacs is just new ways.
With the 2 qualification rounds complete, the finals are set. The top 35 riders from qualifications are ready to hit the course. It's an all-out dash for 15 minutes plus 1 lap to determine the winner. As if shot out of a cannon, Johnny Walker takes the lead, followed closely by Corey Graffunder, and right behind is Paul Bolton in 3rd. Walker chooses a bad line in the concrete block section, and on the right, Graffunder takes advantage and jumps into 1st place. Bolton passes Walker in the stretch, but is this a tactical move on Walker's part? Corey loses the lead after snapping his subframe, pulling him from the race. Charging to the finish, Paul Bolton wins his 2nd prologue, followed by Graham Jarvis and Johnny Walker in 3rd.
I rode really strong and did a good job of it all. Bike was really handling well. You know, I know how to ride prologues and waiting for the seesaws. It looks like there was a lot of action around the seesaws. Graham fell off there, and yeah, but happy with my race. You know, first in the mountains tomorrow. Been there last year, made some early mistakes, which I'm not going to intend on doing this year. So, yeah, happy days, keep going. See you at the finish tomorrow.
Easily one of the most popular extreme races in the world, this 5-day hard enduro hosts riders from over 35 countries and has a start list of 350 competitors.
Red Bull Romaniacs is a hard enduro rally taking place year by year the wonderful Carpathian Mountains of Romania. We have about 600 kilometers of racetrack, 4 classes, iron, bronze, silver, gold class.
It's definitely one of the toughest events of the year. I mean, multiple days as well, it can wear you down.
When you get in the mountains, it's just crazy carnage. Hills, waterfalls going up and down, slippy rock sections, tree roots. It's one of the best places in the world to ride. It's super cool.
It's a hard enduro, but it's like a long race. You know, you do like 7-hour days for 4 days, so it's physically tough, and you know, like it's tough on the mind as well. This year, obviously, I've come here to win. You know, I think the same as 5 other guys are doing the same thing as me. So, you know, it's definitely going to be a tough year, but you know, hopefully, if it all goes well, I'll come out on top.
After winning 4 events, I still want to win, get that number 5 as much as ever, so I'm here to win.
As the sun drops on Sibiu, the anticipation for the beginning of off-road day 1 is lingering. With starting position set and last-minute adjustments to the bike, these boys are about to get dirty. Prologue winner Paul Bolton has the honor of laying down fresh tracks as he attempts to tackle off-road day 1.
Feeling a little bit nervous, but not too bad. Just want to get cracking and try and not make any silly mistakes early on and not lose, you know, what I've got at the beginning.
With a 5-minute gap, Graham Jarvis sets off to hunt down his fellow countrymen and continue his dominance throughout Romania. Just after the first section, the top riders struggle to make it through. Up and down this switchback, Graham Jarvis making it look easy, followed by Johnny Walker and Andreas Lettenbichler. Corey Graffunder tries to make up time but struggles at his first section in Romania. Further up the mountain, Graham Jarvis reaches the section called Doom. As he struggles his way up, he leaves the door open for Walker to make his pass. Pushing the limits, Johnny has a fall, but with nowhere to pass, the silent assassin has to sit and wait for his turn. The roar of the KTM 2-stroke echoes through the valley. Paul Bolton approaches the service point, and he's kept his lead.
Had a good start, got into a good rhythm early on, taking it steady. It was really fast and slippery on the grass. In the service point first, and the bike's good, everything's good.
Shortly after, both Johnny Walker and Graham Jarvis arrive, distancing themselves from the rest of the pack and are sailing through the day 1 course.
The track was perfect, you know, the first 10k maybe, you were like, it was all grass but real slippy, you know, because the water was just lying on the top, so it was hard to push and make time there.
After a quick snack and some added fuel, the riders are back on their bikes from the mandatory 20-minute stop and directly into the eye of the beast, the section called Sherco River. Race leader Paul Bolton loses some time in the slippery section and is caught by Graham Jarvis. Graham and Johnny are 1 and 2 heading into the quarry. Riding smart, Johnny tails Jarvis and follows the champ through these uphill climbs. As competitors in all 4 class levels struggle, a rider hits the horizon, and with a glimpse of the final Red Bull Arch, off-road day 1 comes to an end. Johnny Walker has made ground, coming from 9 minutes back and taking the stage with a dominating ride.
Today was like really easy, to be honest. You know, there's one river that was hard and a couple of downhills, and apart from that, it was fine.
Not far behind, Bolts keeps his podium chances alive with a good day of riding, positioning himself into 3rd place. And shortly after, Mr. Reliable Graham Jarvis rolls in, putting himself into 2nd place. But does he have enough to catch Johnny Walker?
Well, apparently it's quite hard tomorrow, so I'm going to have to keep pushing. I'm going to have to do something, try and catch these boys. I know I'm going to do it, doesn't matter how fast I go. I look round and Johnny's still there.
With an easier than normal day 1, the riders are a bit on edge with what the organizers have lined up for day 2. A GPS in Romania can either be your best friend or your worst enemy. With over 600 kilometers of track, this single piece of equipment can be responsible for winning or losing the race.
The main form of navigation in Red Bull Romaniacs is the GPS. So that gives you an exact location of where you are and a trail to follow.
The GPS is not, as many people think, the way to find your way around. The GPS is more a safety issue. So if on top of the mountains it's really foggy, we cannot mark the track every 30 meters, so you find your way. So there you are happy if you can handle a GPS.
When riders arrive in the finish, then their timing cards are getting scanned, so we have all the results from all the checkpoints. And also we take the GPS, so we can control if they have been properly on the racetrack. So not only passing all the checkpoints, we also can check in between the sections if every small part of the race has been done correctly. And if it is not the case, then we can give penalties for riding off track.
Amongst the thick fog overlooking the city of Boița, the riders begin their journey on off-road day 2.
So this is day 2. I'm in second position behind Johnny, so lots to do today. And it's supposed to be a lot harder day today. I'm going right over to Voianesa, so it's a longer day as well.
The first 3 riders start with a 5-minute gap between each other, followed by the rest of the pack, with 1 rider leaving every minute. Not far from the start, charging through the 50th section, Walker loses some valuable time after drowning his bike in the river. With no mechanic near, Walker flips the bike, removes the spark plug, and drains the cylinder. Shortly after, he's back on the bike, searching for the finish. Wade Young and Paul Bolton push on and are closing in on Walker. Meanwhile, Lars Enokel falls victim to the same challenging section and takes a dip in the river. As the leaders reach the service point, Wade Young has a good start to day 2.
Just felt good this morning and just being consistent and just riding my own race.
Just before reaching the final section, Grimbo makes a navigational error and is caught by Johnny Walker. Coming into the last section of the day, named Tweaka Line, the battle for first continues as Jarvis passes Walker for the lead. Not far behind, Wade Young has made up some precious time and is looking at a top finish, while Paul Bolton has had a difficult day. With a number of crashes and a broken GPS, he loses valuable time, which could pull him from the podium. As the riders reach the finish, they have one last charge through the river to complete off-road day 2. Johnny Walker crosses the finish first with over a 4-minute lead for the day.
Towards the end, I pushed it as I could to try and make a little gap, because every little bit of time counts.
Rounding up the top 3, Graham Jarvis arrives in second and Wade Young in third.
Yeah, I was lucky to be up there, and I'm so happy to be where I am today. And I think I surprised myself today.
When we return, Graham Jarvis pushes Johnny to the limits in an attempt to close the gap on the leader. It's day 3. moving day, and this is the closest Red Bull Romaniacs ever, with only 44 seconds separating race leader Johnny Walker and Graham Jarvis.
I'm sitting overall leader, so I think Graham's like 40 seconds behind, but the good thing is he leads first today, so I'll push hard to try and catch him and then follow him and then try and make a break towards the end.
I was in a comfortable third, and I've lost all that by just a couple of stupid mistakes, so anything can happen. 2 more days, guys.
Walker sets off from the start 5 minutes after the champ. His goal today, hunt down Jarvis and to build on his overall lead. Leading the day is not always a good thing. Jarvis finds out quickly how fast the lead can go with one wrong turn. Walker has caught Jarvis and they begin a game of cat and mouse that will last the rest of the day. Bolton leads a pack of riders with Palou, Birch, and Lettenbichler close behind. The leaders are neck and neck as they reach Ski-Doo River, making this section look easy as they charge to the finish. While South African phenom Wade Young has a big spill here as he tries to hold on to third place.
Yeah, we're still moving, so it's not bad. It's not fast, but yeah, still in one pace.
Jarvis won't let Walker out of his sights, keeping the young Brit on his toes, knowing the 4-time champ is within striking distance. As the riders come into switchback heaven, Jarvis has taken the lead with Johnny hot on his tail. The trailing riders attempt their run up the same section, but with deeper ruts made throughout the day, switchback heaven has turned into switchback hell. Jarvis reaches the abandoned factory first and climbs his way to the finish. Yet he has fallen even further behind overall, with Walker running a near-perfect day.
They're going to need some sort of miracle for tomorrow to beat Johnny, I think. He's on form and not making any mistakes.
All day, we were back and forward in front of positions, so it was good. I think we made good time doing that the way we did it.
Before the factory is attacked by 350 competitors, privateer Paul Bolton hits this urban ghost town and found some time for a free ride in this abandoned factory in Petrila. Off-road day 4. This is the last day of the Red Bull Romaniacs and the last chance for the riders to make their move. With a battle for first and third, the podium is nowhere near locked up, and for the first time in 4 years, Jarvis doesn't have the lead going into the final day.
Yeah, I think the days of me winning by an hour or so is gone. I'm just gonna, it's good though. It's good having a battle. I've been riding with Johnny yesterday all day nearly. And
I don't know. I'm just gonna have to push. I've heard it's a fast day, so push as hard as I can and try not let Graham catch me. There's only 5 minutes 13 seconds. I could do with him getting lost really. So he could do with me getting lost. So should be good.
The beauty of riding in the Carpathian Mountains are clear trails, open skies, and the solitude of the rider and his bike. The final day at the Red Bull Romaniacs will be fast, and speed is Johnny's friend, which plays right into his plan for his first Red Bull Romaniacs win, and of course to knock 4-time winner Graham Jarvis off the top spot. Paul Bolton runs smoothly in third with no sight of Wade Young. Coming into the final service point of the race, Johnny has added to his lead.
Graham set off 5 minutes behind me and he's just coming in now, so I think I maybe pulled 3.5 minutes extra on him. So
Bolton hits day 4 with a vengeance and is having the ride of his life.
I don't know what the gap is between me and Wade, but I'm just going to go ride my heart out today and see what happens at the finish.
Wade Young is still fighting for a podium spot and needs a flawless afternoon to keep his third place alive.
I started off third and Paul's caught up to me on that, and just pretty much going to try to stay with Paul and just keep pushing and keep it going.
With one difficult section to go, Johnny Walker slithers his way up the infamous Black Mamba. Graham Jarvis uses this technical section as a final strike at the top spot and to remain Red Bull Romaniacs champion. Soon after the last service point, Bolts has caught last year's champion and makes his final push for a podium position. As the crowd gathers near the finish, anticipation for the first rider grows. And with the growl of his 2-stroke KTM, Johnny Walker emerges. With nothing left in his tank, Johnny forces his way to the top. And with the help of his new Romanian friends, he has breached the impossible. Triumphantly crossing the finish, Johnny Walker is the winner of the 2014 Red Bull Romaniacs.
Yeah, obviously it's an amazing achievement being the youngest person to win Romaniacs, and because it's such a gnarly race, it's 4 days of just brutal, stuff. So just to get here first is amazing.
Paul Bolton rode like a champion today, but his unfortunate mistakes on day 2 keep him off the podium. Graham Jarvis has been dethroned, and with a solid 4 days of racing, he finishes in second place overall.
Yeah, it's a bit of a disappointment to come second, but there's no shame in coming second to Johnny now because he's so fast, and he's improved so much from last year. So he's up the pace, and I'm going to have to go away and do something different.
18-year-old South African Wade Young rode consistently over the 4 days with few mistakes and finishes off the podium in third place.
I never ever thought that I'd be on the podium here or even in contention for the podium. I surprised myself, and I think I've surprised my family back home as well, and unbelievable for me, indescribable.
After the closest race in history, the 2014 Red Bull Romaniacs will be one to remember. With this year's champion being the youngest ever, 23-year-old Johnny Walker has solidified himself as a constant podium threat and cemented a true rivalry in the sport of hard enduro. The overall results after 5 days of racing, Johnny Walker holds off the world's best and wins this year's Red Bull Romaniacs. And with the world ranking set after 4 races, Johnny Walker has a 7-point lead over Graham Jarvis, and Andreas Lettenbichler is a distant third. That's it for this year's Red Bull Romaniacs. Next stop is the most enjoyable hard enduro of the year, the Red Bull Sea to Sky in Kemer, Turkey. I'm Troy Mannering saying keep the rubber side down and see you next time on Hard Enduro.